Everybody, this is Kyle, and today we're going to take a look at a live performance of my song Darling.
Should I talk or just play here with you? When you call me darling, I know you feel the same way. You say you love me more, and that's when I let you in today. Well, she's grows stronger as it goes on. But at least I'll never must know just waiting to be with you. When you call me darling, I know you feel the same way. You say you love me more.
Darling is a song off my album New Vintage. And yes, that's a 4-year-old me at my aunt's organ, playing around. Looks like I was playing octaves if I look at the picture closer. On the back, I have a picture of my family, and this is Easter 1977. And on Christmas 1976, my brother, that's on the left in the picture with the darker hair, got me this harmony guitar. And in this picture are my brothers on either side, my mom and dad in the middle. And you see the song listing and everything. Let's try to look back when I wrote this song. It looked like it was August of 2016, so that's been about a minute, as the kids would say. I was at an open mic here in St. Louis, and there was a performer that was originally from here, but is now in Nashville, and came back home to do one of those things. And I think it was there before everybody goes back to school or whatever. And I'm not sure if the person was college aged or not. They were obviously younger than me, but they had this cool poppy kind of groovy tone to what they were playing, and I thought that was really cool. And I thought to myself, as I was driving home, that I'd like to try to write something like that, something that had this groove. It's a little different, pushed my singing a little bit more than doing bluesy kind of stuff. The lyrical idea for the song comes from taking a pet name like Darling, but instead of those being superficial, meaningless things that people just say to each other, and it means absolutely nothing. The idea of when you hear a certain term, that it just makes everything make sense. And that's what I was going for with the lyrics. The first verse is someone talking about meeting someone and you just make them a better person. In classic love style, the idea of how do I know if I love somebody or have that deeper connection is, do they make you feel better, like you're a better version of yourself? Instead of having a chorus right after, I wanted something, again, where I was trying to push myself singing, so I'm just doing some woes and stuff over the chorus the first time through. And I was thinking too, performing the song, it gave me a chance to set up the loop and make a little musical space, so, you know, things were spaced out a little bit. On verse 2, just trying to put things in perspective. If yesterday was today, these simple words I would say. And honestly, the second verse doesn't do a whole lot to propel the story. It just makes everything seem deeper. So instead of things moving forward, so to speak, everything just seemed to get more grounded, more solid. Which leads to the chorus. And then the chorus, when you call me darling, I know you feel the same way. And the idea of sometimes in relationship, it's like, I love you more. No, I love you more. And you play that game that when someone says darling, that's your way of letting them win, even though you're letting them know, actually, I'm winning by letting you win, which is one of those really kind of corny love story things. I have a vocal bridge in here, and when I wrote this, I was thinking this would be a chance to try some falsetto notes and things. And I hit some cool minor 9 chords when I play it. Usually when I loop the song and perform it, I do not do that part. Moving into the third verse, the idea of the first verse, that you're a much better version of yourself and you've been remolded, and that is going to be strong, that is going to sustain and persist and carry you on. And then that leads to the last chorus. And then I have an outro. And the way I wrote this is I can do the outro over the same chords as the verse, and it just reiterates the whole idea of the song. So it's a neat little way to do that. With the outro, I'm saying the words call me darling, and the change I make in the melody of the verse, starting with the second verse where I go up in pitch on a third line, that is echoed there in the outro. And that's something fun to do whenever I perform it. And I can actually throw on a couple more darlings if I really, really want to or something. I like the idea of using what a lot of people would maybe incorrectly call jazz chords, songs that have 4 notes that make up the chord instead of just repetitions of the same 3 notes. So I have a 7, a minor 7, minor 7, flat 5, which is just kind of a 9 inversion of the previous, or of the first chord, and then ending on a major 7. So you got lots of complexity, and the way the chords move is kind of jazzy in a way. For the chorus, more the same. And then the money chord. So it's a cool way of playing a diminished chord. The chords like this, the song is a lot of fun to play. Usually I'll use my fingers, so I get that little slap effect that goes into the looper. The drum beat is the same beat from the song, so it's very, very funky, a lot of energy. To me, where the song gets a lot more energy is from the bass line. And the bass line, I was thinking of songs like Valerie by Amy Winehouse, Bruno Mars. And so the bass line essentially would go... very melodic, and that's a lot of fun to play. A lot of times when I perform the song, I'll do a simplified bass line if I'm singing as I cut the bass loop. Something along those lines that pretty much just follows the root note of the chord. If I perform this song and I'm more background music or something along those lines, well, then I'll do a little bit more funky bass line. and hit those extra melodic notes to give the song a little bit more weight, a little bit more texture. The chorus bass part is a little bit different too. And again, if I'm singing as I'm playing, I usually simplify it. And the reason why you would simplify something like that is so you don't mess up, because the last thing you want to do looping is play it really wrong. And then whenever it loops back, it just use cringe, and that's an extra distraction. But if I'm playing the chorus part while singing, something like that. If I'm not singing, then I'll do something a little bit more full and hit a lot more of those harmonic notes. Those parts where it walks up the scale like that's always a good technique in songwriting, to create some energy. In the studio version of this song, I wanted to do the introduction a little different. Since the chorus doesn't really come in until after the second verse, I thought it'd be cool to try an almost a cappella doo-wop introduction with the verse and then the whoa part instead of the first chorus. And the drums come in before the second verse, and you get that snappy, super syncopated, funky rhythm going that carries you through the rest of the song. Hey, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed hearing a little bit about my song, Darling. And as always, if you see something creative online, make sure you subscribe, follow, like, and comment, and keep that goodwill going. So, see you next time.